I'm doing screen recording again. There are a few options. If you look under topic 1, under Linux topics, there are 2 links to zip files. So these are zip files. The first one is intended for Vmware Player or any type of Vmware product. The second one is intended for either VirtualBox or QEMU. So I'll start. Let me see what is installed here first, and then we'll go from there. So on this particular machine, we have VMware Player already installed, so I can definitely go with that option. It doesn't seem to have VirtualBox installed just yet. So I'll go with that option first. So I'm going to click VMware version of the base Linux virtual machine. It will just download a zip file. Okay, so right click, save link as, and then we'll put it, just anywhere is fine, because you have to unzip the file into a folder, and then we'll do some tricks and convince, VMware that it has to play that particular virtual machine. Are there any questions at this point? No questions? So for those of you who are on the wait list or beyond the wait list, I'm not going to give you permission numbers because you're not going to add to the current section of this class, because we'll have a second lab section. So I'll give you another lab section to enroll in. So that's basically how things will be done. According to the deans, I can give you that information of how to get yourself enrolled in this class by Saturday or so. Okay, but he already gave me my word that he will allocate enough FTE for the entire class to be enrolled. So we're good over there. Of course, that really does not change my workload, does it? All right, so I got the file already downloaded, and we'll go ahead and extract all the files. You can extract the files to anywhere on your computer, as long as you remember where to find it. It'll be okay. So I'm just going to extract it to the. Let me change it. Let me change that to My Documents. Click OK, and then we'll do the extraction. All right. Now there are a few options. VMware Player is efficient, so if you can get this to work, it will run pretty quickly. The downside is you have to install VMware Player on the machine that you need to run the virtual machine. So this is not a plug-and-play type of solution. If you're not going to do your homework assignment on a computer that you carry with you, and you want to be able to use the library computer, the LRC computer, and so on and so forth, this will not be the right solution for you, because on those machines, I don't think VMware Player is installed, and you don't have the administrative rights to install it either on those machines. So this would not be a good solution if you want to work on multiple machines where you do not have administrative rights.
If I have like 2 computers, like a laptop that I'm bringing here and then like a desktop at home, can I use VMB?
As well, it's
the files?
You have to copy that 1.6 gigabyte file around. So it depends. If that doesn't bother you, it's okay. But if that kind of bothers you because it takes a lot of time to copy a 1.6 gigabyte file, then that may not be the best option.
Okay.
Yep.
What if we install VMware on both computers and then just put this file on a portable hard drive?
Well, that's something that I was thinking about. That depends on whether VMware Player can be convinced to look at the removable drive for the file.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure. We'll find out in, I guess, a few minutes, because we are going to give that approach a try. So I go to VMware Player, VMware Player. And hopefully, VLC is recording everything that I'm doing right now. All right. It's okay. It's not responding. It's really just being slow. So we'll go to Debian 6, virtual machine not found, and we'll browse for Okay, that's because it's looking at this particular place for, all the files. So what we need to do is to browse for virtual machine, and then go to My Documents, because I think I saved it to my documents. Open. All right. So it looks like that this approach may work. You can just kind of point it to, where you have put the disk image, and then we'll go ahead and play virtual machine. All right. That's fine. It always complains. Binary translation is incompatible with long mode on this platform. Disabling long mode without long mode support. The virtual machine may not be able to run in 64-bit mode. That's okay, because the virtual machine is I installed the 32-bit version of Linux on it, so we are actually okay with this. No need to tell me again. This virtual machine might have been moved or copied. In order to configure certain management and networking features, you may need to know if this virtual machine was moved or copied. If you don't know, answered I copied it. Okay, I guess. The keyboard hook timeout value is not set because there's no configuration associated with the disk image file. So we just click OK here. Basically, we're just taking all the defaults. Can be connected? No, we don't need it to be connected. All right, so it works. That's really good. Good news. So potentially, I think this means you can put you can uncompress the zip file onto an external hard drive or a USB thumb drive and be able to start VMware Player and look at the external hard drive for the files, and so you can make it somewhat portable. But the machines will still need to have VMware Player installed. Okay. All right, so that's good news. All right. So once you are in the virtual machine, you can close the virtual machine just by clicking the X button here, which will be equivalent to unplugging the machine, okay, just yanking the plug, which normally is not a good thing to do, but I think extension 3 is fairly resistant to this type of corruption, so it's okay, but I would not do it that way. Yep.
Will it pop up a notification after you power it off or log off?
I don't know how we can log it off without knowing because I have not installed the the VMware tools in it, so it can only either do suspend or power off. It cannot log out properly. I guess suspend would be okay too, because if you suspend, it's just suspending it onto the image file. So next time you power up the machine, it will be in the same state again. So that's another option. But to properly shut it down, you just have to log in as root. Oh, click. Yep.
Last time you were saying that the live ISO file has a problem with compatibility with the NVIDIA.
Right.
So does this have the same issue? Or
No, this has no issue whatsoever because this is actually running as a virtual machine.
Okay.
So it doesn't even know that you have an NVIDIA chipset.
Okay.
Yep. The password of root is ball. So the correct way to power down or shut down a machine is to use power off as a command after you log in as root. So you press that, press the enter key, and then it just, completes the shutdown sequence. Okay. And are there any questions about what I just did? So assuming this is all recorded, you guys can just kind of watch it again once I upload it onto YouTube. All right. Second approach. We have a few approaches here. The second approach is basically for people who cannot install VMware Player on all the machines that you'll be using for your homework assignments. So this will be people who want to use the machines in the LRC, the library, or some other Windows machine that you have no administrative rights over, and VMware Player is not installed on those machines. So this would be the most portable solution, is to use QEMU. So I'm going to try that approach here. You go to, so I'm going to right-click and save link as again, put it into my download folder. The file size is about the same. This one actually does include the Windows version of QEMU. It is a self-contained solution. There's no configuration, stuff like what I just did. This one is really, really self-contained. You will see what I mean, when I get this done. Yep.
You were saying last time that the QEMU slower.
Yeah, now you can see how much slower.
So, but can that be sped up if you're using a faster interface net like using 3.0 or something like that?
No, because the inefficiency comes from the emulation engine itself. It is not making use of the VTX technology in the processor. So it's not making use of the virtualization acceleration hardware that is already inherent to the i5 and the i7 processors. If you have an i3 processor, then all of the emulation platforms will be about the same because there's no hardware acceleration. But for the i5 and the i7, there is hardware acceleration. But QEMU, because it doesn't need to be installed, it doesn't have the kernel module necessary to make use of the processor features. But it does have another advantage. Let me just show you what the other advantage is with this one. So I'm going to go install everything into my documents and extract. Okay. And by the way, if you use a thumb drive, it's not going to look nearly as quick as this. Okay, if you use a thumb drive, especially those inexpensive thumb drives, this will be easily 6 or 7 times slower.
Unless you have USB 3.0.
Well, USB 3.0 is the bus speed, which means that's the speed limit. You can still have a slow bus, right? You can have a slow device, even though the speed limit is 55 miles per hour, the scooter is still going at 50 miles per hour.
So what if we use a SATA 3 portable hard drive then?
No, not really. External hard drives, help a lot. Even USB 2.0, if you have an external hard drive instead of a thumb drive, that's going to speed things up, tremendously. You don't even have to go, USB 3.0.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So this is already uncompressed. It uncompresses to a folder called base VM for base virtual machine. Do you guys have any questions back there? Nope. Okay. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, this one is really self-contained because to start the virtual machine. Okay, let me just start the whole process again. I'm going to close all this stuff here. So go to the folder where you uncompress the zip file. It can be on your thumb drive, can be external hard drive, can be anywhere. So in this case, I uncompressed that into my documents folder, and it's called base VM. Double-click it. You will find several files here. 2 are batch files. On most machines, it won't give you the extension .bat, but it will give you the icon, like a gear and a little cog. So just double-click on either one. One has SSH enabled, the other one does not. So just double-click it. It will ask you, about these things, and just click Run, and that's it. Nothing to install. You don't have to configure Vmware Player. You don't have to install anything. It just starts right up. However, it is slower because you can see, this startup process is quite a bit slower compared to the other one. I would say this is easily 10 times slower. So whether the overhead is significant depends on how fast you can program. If you think you can get most of the programming assignments done in 5 minutes, yes, this overhead is terrible because you're spending 2 minutes just to spin up the virtual machine, and then you spend 5 minutes, you're done with the homework assignment. So the overhead is actually 40% of the time that you need to do the homework assignment. But a normal person typically would take an hour or 2 to do the homework assignment. And I don't think, even inside this virtual machine, even though it's slow, I don't think you can out-type it. So